Welcome to Beyond the Coverage. I'm Chris Horner. Today's episode brought to you by the Horner Cycling Foundation, where we have the Cascade Cycling Classic on August 10th at Downtown Bend Criterium. Will be exciting all the way starting at noon all the way till late in the night, and we need some help with some of the funds. If you guys can help out and would like to donate, or if you just got time and want to volunteer your time, I'll put a link down below where we're trying to raise some money. Now guys, the Horner Cycling Foundation is not making money. I am not a promoter, and the Horner Cycling Foundation is not a promoter. We are just trying to make some money to cover some of the costs for the race so we can have a fantastic prize list, both even for the men's and women's elite races. And of course, we have the Oregon State Championship races going on for the Masters and for the junior kids racing on August 10th. So if you can help out, click the link down below and throw a few extra dollars over to the Horner Cycling Foundation so Molly can get everything going for August 10th and put on a fantastic show. Now, what do I want to talk about here on the day after the 24 Tour de France when I should be on vacation? Well, we worked hard, both Garrett and myself. Tadej Pogačar worked hard too. He won 6 stages of the Tour de France, along with the Giro, along with LBL, along with Catalonia, and along with Strade Bianche. The Slovenian's been fantastic. Does he get a day off? No, there's already press out today, the day after the Tour de France, that the Slovenian is going to skip the Olympic road race. You'd think, well, hey, he's going on vacation. He's skipping an Olympic road race. No, he announced he's going for the Road World Championships in Zurich. Now, why would Tadej Pogačar want to do the Road World Championships over the Olympics? The main thing when you're looking at Tadej Pogačar, you're comparing the course. The course in Zurich would be a little bit harder, but on top of the difficulty of the course being harder is you have more teammates when we start getting into the Road World Championships. Personally, I prefer going to the Road World Championships where you get to wear that amazing jersey that, of course, Mathieu van der Poel's been wearing throughout this whole 24 season after he won a fantastic Glasgow World World Championships last year in 2023. Tadej Pogačar announced after he won the Tour de France that, of course, he'd like the jersey just like Mathieu van der Poel. So, little change in the schedule there for Tadej Pogačar. Now, some other things I want to talk about for sure for Tadej Pogačar is about doing the triple. No, I don't mean the triple of the Giro and the Tour de France and the Road World Championships. We've seen Stefan Roche do that way back in the 80s where he won 3 of those. But I'm talking about the real triple, the triple of all triples that's never been done before. I'm talking about the Giro, winning the Giro, which he already did, and 6 stages. Winning the Tour de France, well, he already did that. I told you that here, and 6 stages. So why would Tadej Pogačar want to do the Vuelta a España when the season has been almost perfect? Well, nobody's ever done it before, not in the same season. Chris Froome did it in back-to-back, but he needed 2 seasons to do it. And of course, the Giro cost him the Tour de France afterwards when it was Geraint Thomas that won in 2018. His teammate then that season, but flying form, where of course, Chris Froome just couldn't back up the form from the Giro d'Italia, and honestly had a little problems in the Giro d'Italia trying to win that one a little bit late there. But why would Tadej Pogačar? Why is this the perfect season? Well, if you guys remember watching the Butterfly Effect and Beyond the Coverage videos early in the season, especially Beyond the Coverage, I had dictated out there about the 4 favorites, Tadej Pogačar, Primoz, Jonas Vingegaard, and Remco Evenepoel, and I talked about who had the easiest of schedules. I said Tadej Pogačar had the easiest schedule, and that's the reason why he wants to continue to go into the Spain. Because at this moment, when you start thinking Tadej Pogačar, throughout his whole schedule, all the way up to the Tour de France, well, he didn't have to fight against Primoz Roglic, Jonas Vingegaard, or Remco Evenepoel. He was supposed to see Remco Evenepoel at Liège-Bastogne-Liège, but of course the Belgian kid, he crashed in Stage 4 of the Basque Country, along with the other 2 favorites, and that took out all of the competition from Tadej Pogačar. I know, there's competition left and right, but those 4 are on another planet, we all know it. So Tadej Pogačar's run all the way into the Tour de France had been perfect, where the Slovenian didn't have to go deep into his reserves there and really run himself ragged to win the Giro. He didn't have to go deep, or didn't look like he went deep at the Tour de France in order to win the 24 Tour de France either. He had some competition, there's no doubt about that. Jonas Vingegaard, do not take it personally. You were beautiful. God bless the cycling gods for getting you ready for the 24 Tour de France, because it was a magnificent race. And Remco Evenepoel, along with Primoz Roglic too, who started the Tour de France, but then of course crashed out. So at this moment, Tadej Pogačar, if you're thinking about getting some rest and tiredness, remember he said he's tired, that's why he doesn't want to do the Olympic road race, which is in 2 weeks. But the main thing he's tired is mentally. Physically, we know Tadej Pogačar is not tired. We saw it on the individual time trial when he was putting his fingers behind his back going 1, 2, 3 Tour de France victories as he's coming into the final K&a-half of the individual time trial and wrapping up the 24 Tour de France. We saw throughout his dominating stage 19, 20, and 21, the time trial as I spoke about, that when you can win 3 back-to-back like that, and you didn't even try to win stage 20, sorry, you tried really big with your team on 19, but stage 20, they didn't even try, they were trying to give it away, and he still won. He's on magnificent form. So at this moment, you've won the Giro, you won the Tour, but you've won it fresh. And you've won it fresher than anyone can possibly imagine winning the Giro and the Tour de France. Now, when we start looking at the Vuelta a España, remember, it's not on the list for Jonas Vingegaard to go to the Vuelta a España. It's not on the list for Remco Evenepoel to go to the Vuelta a España. And the only one of the 4 favorites that's on the list is, of course, Primož Roglič, the other Slovenian. But Primož Roglič has had a rough start to the 24 season. He won Dauphiné, but he crashed at the Basque Country. He crashed here at the Tour de France 2 times. The Slovenians had a nightmare season of crashes throughout the whole 24 season, and now he's getting ready for the Vuelta a España, and it's on his list. But when we look at Bora Hansgrohe, Red Bull's not really set up with a ton of depth. So if Tadej Pogačar is looking for a season right now to win all 3 in the same season and do what's never been done before, okay, the Road World Championships, I would put that on my list too, but I'd go to the Vuelta and start focusing on that, because when we look at Visma Lease bike, we know they're broken. That means in the 24 season right now, when we start the Vuelta a España, they don't have a tight list of competitors to ride against Tadej Pogačar. We look over at Red Bull with Primož Roglič showing up, but we saw at the Tour de France with their strongest team, and when they get over the Vuelta a España, the team's even going to be less depth. We look at UAE team members right now, Tadej Pogačar's team. What could he bring? He just went to the Tour de France and dominated. You'd think they used up all his guys. Well, he hasn't used up all his guys. If I show you the Strava records from the American Brandon McNulty, who's getting ready for the Olympics, well, that kid has been flying. I mean, it has been spectacular Strava records from Brandon McNulty, so you know he can be ready for the Vuelta. Remember that guy, Rafa Maica, at the Giro d'Italia? Well, he could be ready for the Vuelta a España. There's no doubt about that. That's 2 guys right there. Now, Juan Ayuso, he dropped out of the Tour de France, and so I bet he'd be happy to show up at the Vuelta a España and show what kind of form he missed showing all of us at the Tour de France in 2024. So right now, this is a season that you cannot duplicate. Tadej Pogačar, of course, could get his own form up to spectacular fitness level for another season. 2025, 26, 27, 28. The next 10 years, Tadej Pogačar could come into any one of these next seasons and be at the same level of form that we saw in 2024. But will his teammates, will his competition be higher than what we saw? Remember, you can't always predict at the Giro d'Italia that none of the favorites, the other 3 favorites, are going to be there to fight against Tadej Pogačar, where he would have to burn energy at the Giro. So in the years coming up, if he does the Giro, he's going to have to battle against possibly one of the favorites there. Then he'd have to come into the Tour de France, do it all over again, and hope that the Belgian wonder kid, Remco Evenepoel, remember he won the white jersey at the 24 Tour de France, you have to hope that he doesn't get better too in the coming years. And we all know when you're sitting on the Chesterfield that Remco Evenepoel at 23 years of age, he can get better. The Belgian kid said it in his interviews. He expects to get better in later seasons. So right now, this is the perfect storm for Tadej Pogačar to start the Vuelta a España. Now, when I'm doing interviews, if I'm Tadej Pogačar, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to go. I'm going to say it's not the plan to go. There's only 1% chance that I'm going, because then maybe the sponsors, UAE team members, or maybe the organization from the Vuelta a España says, hey, we found a couple million underneath the cushion of the Chesterfield. We pulled it out. We're ready to hand it to you. We just want Tadej Pogačar to start. If he feels good, maybe we pay him by each week of the Vuelta a España that he finishes, and maybe it's a huge bonus if he's to win it from his sponsor UAE team members and some start money from the organizers of the Vuelta a España. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Right now is the perfect season for Tadej Pogačar, especially since you're skipping the Olympics. I wouldn't have done it anyways. I would have taken a little break here after the Tour de France of a week. Once you get a week off of racing your bike and stuff like that, I can tell you from past experiences myself, every time I got a little bit away from the racing, I just wanted to be back at the racing. So Tadej Pogačar, I'm sure mentally he needs a bit of a break. He said it in his own interviews that they've been traveling a lot. He hasn't been home a lot, so he wants a little bit of a break. But once that little bit of break is over, and of course he's going to be with his girlfriend, fiance there. So once he gets a little bit of a break, he's going to start thinking about bike racing again. The organizers from the Vuelta, UAE Team Emirates, they find some budget. The organizers find some budget. Tadej Pogačar goes into the Vuelta España, does what's never been done before, wins 3 Grand Tours, the holy grail of bike racing in the same season. And then guess what? Well, he can go to the Road World Championships in Zurich and he can win there too, because you just carry over the form from the Vuelta España and have a season that has never been done before. You want to be Eddie Merckx? You want to take over that legendary status? Well, this is the way to do it. Like and subscribe. I'll bring you guys information that you'd never get from any other channel. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next video real soon.